Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich. Back in the home isles, we have reformed the United Kingdom. And as a result, I am basically starting fresh with a relatively new country. Midway through the game, we are in horrible condition. I am hoping that the game is going to give me enough of a catchback mechanic that I can still surpass this, but we'll see. Alright, do we want to go for a trade mission? I don't see why not. The British love trade. Protests rage against show trials. As the syndicalist trials wind down, they've attracted an amount of protests from labor supporters. That the sentence handed out were fairly light seems to have taken the heat out of things, but even so, these protests say the trials should not have begun in the first place. There's nothing they should apologize for, read the signs. Yeah, that's from the syndicalist side of things. I imagine we would have lost even more support if we had gone for harsher sentences for the paternal autocrats. So I'm trying to find a way to stabilize this. Now we've got to decide what the heck is going to happen with the syndicalist unions. That's going to be really exciting. I'm going to let my allies now deal with the rest of Russia. I don't want to be involved in this. The Kingdom of Ukraine appears to be eating up a ridiculous amount of territory, so they'll be fine. Wartime rationing has ended. That's great, so stability goes back up a little bit more. Australian aid has arrived. Thank you for the political power. Thank God. And let's go to early mobilization. Reduce some of that consumer goods at least a little bit. It doesn't make much difference because we still have 68% consumer goods ratio thanks to the post-war devastation. But this is something we know we're going to need to do at some point. So that's why I'm going for it. God, we are so weak right now. There's nothing to do except for sit back. So I'm going to go ahead and use some jump cuts if you guys don't mind. Because I don't want this to drag out for another 3 hours while we just go through events, if that makes sense. Actually, if anything, some of these need to go a lot faster in order to make Britain a more fun playthrough. But okay, there goes Petrograd, by the way, so I don't expect that Russia's going to last that much longer. Fate of the Unions. The defeat of the Union of Britain brought with it the destruction of the old trade unions that had either supported the syndicalist regime. However, there is still the question of whether British workers should be allowed to organize on a local basis to defend their interests. Indeed, there is an entire infrastructure of labor groups ready and waiting to begin setting up unions once again, and merely waiting to see what the government considers acceptable now. Banning them entirely will not go over well with those groups, to say the least. One argument is the government should set up a small number of controlled unions and ban the rest. Still others say the unions aren't the problem, and trying to get rid of them will only invite disaster. Allow them to continue, we could start becoming social democrats. Now, there's a thought. So social democracy as an ideology is honestly very frequently confused with democratic socialism. And the reason they're confused is because originally they kind of were the same thing. But there came a point where it sort of splits. And social democracy is now called the third way, which is to say, take the best aspects of a free, liberal, capitalistic economy, right, where private ownership of the means of production continues, but combine it with some of the best features of socialism, which is to say, primarily focusing on welfare and stuff like that, right, a lower threshold, like a safety net, in order to make sure that there's strong stability. And if you have strong stability, plus the innovation and the wealth generated from free market capitalism, you get the best of both worlds, the so-called third way. We could go down this, and it would actually make some sense based on what we're trying to do, which is get rid of syndicalism, but take some of their best features. Or we ban them all and get rid of all syndicalists. I'll be honest, going down the social democrat route isn't terrible. Kind of depends on how heavy-handed we want to be. I don't suppose there's going to be something here that's going to change depending on whether you are a specific ideology or not. Fight the syndicalist resistance. I'm just scanning through this real quick, looking for anything that would imply... I mean, I would love to rebuild the Empire. But it doesn't say that we need to be a specific ideology to do that. I'm going to be honest, I kind of think we need to do this. From a thematic perspective, I think it makes sense. Now, losing all that political power sucks, but it's okay. Let's go for reorganizing the bureaucracy, get some of that political power back. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, the Kaiser is dead. Kaiser. I played too much Fallout at this point. Objections to the Union policy. We lose even more political power. And the paternal autocrats lose some support, which of course means by de facto, the syndicalists get a little bit stronger. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying my darndest here, okay? I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, mechanized divisions, that'll be fun. By the way, we didn't even manage to take advantage of some of the stuff we were giving Canada, like super far ahead of time mechanized. Anger over the new union leadership. While the unions have been allowed to proceed unregulated by the government, almost all of them are required to do a clean sweep of their leadership. No one who worked as a collaborator with the Union of Britain government is allowed to retain position. While this is easily the lightest requirement the United Kingdom could apply, there have still been a number of protests over the matter in Scotland and Wales, with hardline Labour activists saying this was a slippery path toward the government keeping their foot on Labour's neck for the rest of time. Lose a little bit of stability. That's not too bad, all things concerned, though, so I think I'll be fine. I can live with that. As far as what else to research, I'm going to go ahead and research some basic armor protection. I feel like that's still worth it. Sardinian aid arrives. Thankfully, all of my allies, and I built a lot of members of the Entente, all of my allies seem to be sending me some support, which is helping keep me afloat just a little bit longer. So much appreciated there for absolute sure. Social conservatives are in charge across the board. Right, because they were the exiles. We left all the liberals behind in Canada. Yeah, I'm gonna try going down a social democratic route. I don't know if that's feasible or not. I do know that we are gradually losing stability over time, just because the syndicalists are re-entracting themselves. Get a little bit more support there. Thank you, Norway. Let's go ahead and start researching extra resources. Maybe we can export a bunch of it. I don't know. Royal Address the Entente. Something I need to do is probably start doing some royal tours and try to increase the popularity of the king. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do a tour. I know I want to do things like upgrade the government, but if I'm willing to bet that having a popular king is going to be relevant at some point soon, so we'll see. Let's go for the question of Labour itself as a party. I'm not going to ban it. I'm going to let them exist. But I'm wary. I'm wary of where this is all going for sure. We built 4 submarines. The glorious British Navy shall be rebuilt. Who's justifying on me? Venezuela is justifying against the West Indies Federation. Oh, okay. Well, I'm hopeful that all my buddies, including a big honk in Brazil, will be able to finish you off, but alright. There's an advanced light chassis, so we can start building some nice light tanks. If we want to. Do we even have any trains? It just occurred to me. No. Let's research cheap trains. That's what they are, basically. They're just cheaper trains. So that I'll be able to rebuild some of those. Alright, jumping forward once again. Weirdly enough, I just realized we have a monthly population times 130%. I don't know if I've ever seen in non-Fallout HoI4 something that actually modifies population as a mechanic. That's interesting. Alright, the question of labor. With the prospect of holding free elections looming, now the government must consider when and if elections occur, will the Labour Party be allowed to participate? Clement Attlee has presented himself in Parliament to make the case for the party, saying while it did cooperate with the syndicalists, it didn't have much of a choice. The Labour Party was never in a position of power in the Union of Britain, he says, and all it could do was try to make things easier for the average citizen. The Labour movement itself should not be punished. There are those who question Attlee's motives and suggest that his personal collaboration with the Union itself is criminal, but it's also clear that Labour has a huge amount of support. Banning it would be difficult. Pardon them? Pardon them it is. I don't know. Returning Aristocracy. This is going to create some other issues, isn't it? Where people are like, we don't want to have aristocrats. And I'll be like, I don't blame you, I don't either. Let's start learning how to make some advanced ships. We need to rebuild that navy, dang it. And if we're going to start rebuilding a navy, it might as well be with the 1940 variants, which are considered to be some of the best bang for your buck. Better destroyers, better subs, and better light cruisers. We'll go for that meta. We're not going to have any battleships or carriers, but that's probably fine. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, France. Send me more stuff, please. I need it so badly you don't understand. The UK sucks. Okay, we got some aid from Greece and from India. Thank you for that. Now we have the Returning Aristocracy, the British exiles who have returned to the country only to find their lands have been stripped and their former homes are now occupied, are demanding their property be returned. The problem, of course, is that the new occupants assumed ownership legally, according to the Union of Britain, so they say having their homes now stripped from them is unfair. I kind of see both points in this case. There's a simmering resentment against the aristocracy who fled after the uprising in 1925, which is feeding into the growing conflict, and now the government is being called on. If I keep reducing paternal autocracy, I'm worried that we're going to make the left-wing syndicalists too strong. Right now, they're already sitting at 22% support. I'm going to say that the current owners must give it up, but they will be compensated for it in order to try and make this a little bit easier. Then we're going to return to a free government quickly before the syndicalists have a chance at making this worse. After several months of preparations, the provisional government has completed arrangements for the first free election in Great Britain since liberation. The king has issued a writ for the 660 seats in the House of Commons, and the political parties have begun their campaigns. All right, gain some stability from that. This goes away if the syndicalists are reducing stability by 20%. The fact that they're only at 5% means maybe I did some of my events correctly, and I could have been even harsher on this and still been fine. I don't know. But we'll see. So now my question is, do we go to partial mobilization now? I think the answer is yes. Let's go ahead and just do it. I know that's going to be a top goal, but I do want to get some advisors and start farming out some experience and stuff again pretty soon too. We have cheaper trains. Great. Let's go ahead and start getting ahead of time on research speed, since that's going to be critical to get back on track with this. I'm going to miss having my 5 research slots, that's for sure. And the Dalai Lama. We have a new ordainment there. Okay, the 14th Dalai Lama. Return to free government. Here we go. Boom! Suck it, syndicalists. I managed to get back to freedom. Britain! It doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way, does it? 1941 British elections. Who wins? Liberals? Labor? Hang on. Politics will change. Elections take place. The effects of syndicalist resistance will be lowered by 5%. I'm going to put the liberals in charge. And market liberalism once again becomes the dominant ideology. There was no social democracy option. All right, with that done, we go for reconstruction complete. Then we start fighting back against the syndicalists. Does this get rid of post-war devastation? It doesn't say that it does. I'm not going to be able to do a dang thing with my economy until I get rid of this. It's too penalizing. There was not even a point in doing the IEDC economic advisors, but I wanted to join the organization so I'd have the option later. Am I not the leader of it, by the way? I'm probably not. Let's see. Legislate freedoms, rally public support. Oh, right, we can do some of these now. Gain support. The effects of post-war devastation will be lessened by a small amount? Yeah. Medium amount? Yeah. Let's expand the power system and start reducing that. Let's see. Despite the initial crisis caused by King Edward's choice of bride to the point where he almost was forced to abdicate the throne, it appears love has won the day. He married American film star Constance Bennett, now Queen Consort Catherine in the United Kingdom. Congratulations, his popularity goes up. Nothing unites a nation quite like a royal wedding, am I right? Actually, if I'm completely honest, I do not understand why so many Americans are fascinated by the royal family of Britain. I couldn't care less. You guys go have fun with that, but for some reason, a lot of Americans just eat that stuff up. That's a personal opinion, though, you know, to each their own. I guess it's fine. Okay, a new faction apparently just got created. Hang on. The Democratic Alliance of the Caribbean. Basically, everyone who's not the Entente or not run by the Reichsmacht. So Cuba, Venezuela, and so on. Which might mean if Venezuela goes through with declaring their war, which they may or may not do still, we may get called in on an entire new faction. Well, that'll be fun. Reconstruction is now complete. Okay, so where do we go now? We could go for some stability and political power and try to start building up our economy again. The new BBC, fund the Royal Society, go for research speed and stuff, fund civilian economies, or go for military. Okay. Reform the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. Restore the Foreign Office. Let's start with that and take leadership back of the Entente. Fighting against syndicalist resistance. We can reduce the impact by 3%. If we do this a couple of times, does it get rid of the event? I doubt it. So I'd rather start building up more of our economy, and we're going to reduce working class taxation. So between both of these, we're reducing the devastation by a pretty hefty amount. Restored the Foreign Office. Now we can go for the Irish question, our claim to Northern Ireland. I will worry about that another time. There are more important things. Let's go for the restoration of the exchange. And then we have more upgrades to the economy. We can ask for the return of Malta from France. I would appreciate that, but we'll worry about that in a minute. We could go for female equality, which actually reduces stability. Yeah, we treat women equally and things get more unstable, apparently. Okay. It actually reduces the effect of the legacy of the revolution, which is hurting my weekly stability and my recruitable population. So it would make sense to actually try to do this. So we're going to go ahead and enact female equality in Britain. Go forth, ye suffragettes! Sister suffragette, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. Wait, no, what was it? Ba-bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-ba-ba-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't remember any of the lyrics from Mary Poppins. Our daughters will adore us, and they'll sing in grateful chorus. Rise up, sister suffragette, I think. I don't know, it's been forever since I watched that movie. We've restored the exchange. What to go for now? Relying on foreign investment, man. So here's the thing. If we do this, consumer goods 5%, construction speed 20%. And more factories in total. This is 10%, and then will lead toward stability, war support, political power, 15% research speed, and then synthetics. This is the one thing I don't care about that much. All of these are really powerful. This, however, would allow us to start making mechanized, motorized, and factories and everything, plus a bunch of civilian factories. The alternative, Royal Charter's raw output, and then make guns and anti-tanks and artillery and stuff better, and then factories. I kind of want to do this. If I could split the difference on these, I'd be happy with it. But I think I have to go for regulating industrial growth for the 20% construction speed and the maximum factories per states, which is pretty darn good, because I'm pretty sure we have max infrastructure in a lot of England proper. So we'll be able to build up a lot of factories very quickly and build tall, since we don't exactly have a lot of land as Britain. So I think that's going to make the most sense. We can reduce the effects of the legacy of the revolution more. Post-war devastation. I still have no idea how much a medium amount is. Land settlement. Let's go for the beverage report. I just need to keep doing anything I can to do this. Hey, how much does France like me, by the way? They like me a fair bit. Would you be willing to please give back Malta? Thank you, they gave it back. I got some political power. All right, so I've got a base of operations down here in the Mediterranean, though I already had puppets, but they don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. Puppets? What puppets? I would never puppet a government as the British. No, that's not a thing. Thank you, Greece. Man, this investment in Greece is freaking worked out, dude. Liberty Day. Whee! Oh, wow. Yeah, it is. February 25th, 1942. Has it already been like a year since I did all this? Jeez. All right, we have, thank you, British India, gone for our first medium reduction in the devastation. So what happens? It reduced it by 12% on our construction speed and so on, 8% for consumer goods. Still not enough to make a difference, but there you go. We have upgrades for our light batteries and stuff now. That's all fun. I don't think there's much else that I really need to do over here. I mean, sonar and stuff, I guess, but like, I'm not gonna go that far into it. Let's go ahead and research upgrades for our guns. And we can do an IEDC review. Let's do nothing, because I'm pretty sure I can't do anything yet. Take that back, I apparently now have some civilian factories. It's not gonna be much. We have 2, so going for 50% political power to get like 1 more factory back or boost up my construction speed would have been irrelevant at this point, so that's why I didn't do it. But later I'll happily get involved. The macaroni deal? Oh, wait, we can actually choose which one of these to go with. You're saying I could have done this instead. All right, well, this is still fine. 20% construction speed is going to help me a lot. So I could still do this if I wanted to, but this is so important. This lets me boost up so much construction speed and get these civilian factories up and running. They're not mutually exclusive, are they? I think I can do all of the above. Cracks in the royal marriage already? Celebrity marriages, man. Tell you what, they're so useless. After years of marriage, they've been married for months. Mere months. They have yet to produce a child. Of course, this marriage is useless. Okay, increasingly estranged as a result of Queen Constance spending her time in functions separately from the king, visiting her home city of Boston for weeks at a time. Popularity goes down. They haven't been married for years, guys. Oi! What is wrong with all of you? Stop it. Stop making demands. Let them do this in their own time, dang it. I would know. It's a little hard to have a child. My wife and I have been trying for years. It's not always easy. Leave them alone. I'm serious. Let's go ahead and split up the destroyers and the subs. This is Reserve Fleet 1. That's Task Force 1. Then we make sure that all of these are assigned to the correct fleet so that we don't ever have to do that again. Okay, that's done. That actually got me an industrial company, so it was actually also worth 150 political power. Oh, that's why. It wasn't a passive bonus. It gave me the company. So it's a good thing I didn't want either of these. It still was the best way to go. So it saved me 150 political power, and it gave me some other bonuses here. Okay, so we could continue focusing on this. Restore the Ministry of Defense, get a lot of experience. Yes, because I need to move on to sub 3s. And the rest I could use on something. Do I even have doctrines? Oh, thank God. At least we retained that much. At least we got that. All right. We are pretty much done with all the cheap, easy ways of reconstructing our nation. Now we're going to have to start doing the big, expensive stuff. And this is going to take for freaking ever to build up. Oh, God. Is Russia dead yet? My God. What is going on in Russia? Frickin' finish them off already. The British-French relationship, a long and fruitful relationship as part of the Entente. Let's see, we've approached the French hoping to do one of two things: exchange any territory that been administered since the collapse of both countries, and to renew the mutual agreement. Well, there are no territories that I hold on to that belongs to France, and in the meantime, this just gets me political power. The Australasian Confederation returns Hong Kong. Oh, that was nice of you. Wait. Oh, these are the, there were a couple of decisions down here to request that France and Australasia give back colonies. I thought I would have to click the button, but I didn't have to. It happened automatically. So they gave back Hong Kong over here. Well, hello. Well, that's nice. Hong Kong's useful, I suppose. Mostly just gives me a port that I can use in Asia if I so need it. But awesome, I'll take it. Why not? We could reintegrate Malta, by the way, and get a core. Can't imagine that's worth very much, but we could do it. We could also try to build up some weekly stability, but we gotta keep doing all these different acts. Some of these are so expensive. Oh, God, it's gonna take so long to rebuild this country. There's the Ministry of Defense. Who do we choose to be our Chief of Staff? I think they're actually just gonna give me, like, free advisors and stuff to make up for what we lost. Ironsides gets me entrenchment, speed, and defense. Recovery and organization, infantry, attack, and defense, and recruitable population. Or cheaper artillery, plus more artillery attack. Cheaper artillery lets me build up some nice armies and stuff. I like that idea. That seems all right. Army and chaos, we can get rid of some of that. Alternatively, we start figuring out what the heck we're gonna do with the Irish. I just don't see the point of doing that. We need 25 ships before I'm going to be able to take over leadership of the Entente, by the way. Which actually makes me the head of the IEDC, which would be pretty good. Alright. Well, let's go for the political power gain from the new BBC. Alright, the BBC is done. We're going to go for the national arms deal just to reduce production costs and also get an event, which hopefully gets me something good. Then I'll figure out what to do from there. We really probably should demand Northern Ireland from, well, Ireland, though I thought they were a part of the Reichsbach. They're not anymore? Oh. I thought they were a part of this, but apparently they are not. I am wrong on that. Okay. Well, that's fine then. Yeah, okay. Don't even worry about it. Let's go ahead and start making the best possible guns. Oh, and let's also start making some gosh dang trains. War austerity trains. Yeah, that seems important. There's the national arms deal, which gets a contract. Numerous British companies are vying for the arms contract. Do you go for Webley and Scott, which makes weapons and research speed faster and also makes all infantry equipment better by giving them everything, really. Soft attack, hard attack, breakthrough, defense, reliability, etc. Do we go for just soft attack and breakthrough? Do we go for cheaper motorized? Y'all know I'm a fan of that right now. Does it affect mechanized, though? It does. Ooh. And then Sterling Armaments, which gets artillery with even more stats. Actually, all forms of artillery. I'm gonna go for the mechanized, weirdly enough. I think I could kind of justify that and make it work. I do think I could. Let's fund the Royal Society, get that research speed up, and then we'll start worrying about things like Ireland in just a little bit. Let's also wait for about a week, and we're gonna be able to get another thing here. The New Towns Act or something? I don't know. God, it's just... Getting rid of this devastation is gonna be so stinking difficult. The more important thing is actually to get rid of the Legacy Revolution if possible. Because... that's the one that's affecting my stability and my political power gain, and stability affects political power gain, and the faster I have political power, the more of these I can pass, obviously. We have managed to contain the syndicalists. The legacy of the revolution has dropped quite a bit, but not gone, and the post-war devastation's down to 39% and 26% respectively. So we're up to 11 civilian factories. The fact that I find that to be a massive improvement just shows how horrible our position really was. God, we are in so much trouble here. Okay, that's the Royal Society, so my research speed is about to go brrrr. Beyond that, yeah, let's go ahead and make a claim to Northern Ireland. I don't feel like this is a good use of my time, but if Ireland resists and they're not going to be no, the German Empire is guaranteeing them. Yeah, they're going to say no. And they should say no. They shouldn't give up Northern Ireland. If I were them, I wouldn't give up Northern Ireland. What the heck? We'll demand it anyway, on the off chance the AI is silly like that. Our king is of moderate popularity right now. South Africa sends us some stuff. Sardinians sent us 100 political power. My God, thank you. All right, let's continue lessening the effects of that revolution. Get that going. Get that political power up and running, please. We're making 1.15 per day. Technically speaking, I could stop doing focuses and get an extra 1 per day, which will let me plow through this way faster. There's honestly something to be said about doing none of this for a while, if we don't need it. I also could, however, assume leadership of the Entente again, and get myself an intelligence agency and stuff. Imperial Preference Program, Westminster Declaration of 1942, renew the special relationship, and get Victoria Britannia. I mean, there's kind of some cool sounding events that I can start doing now that I've rebuilt a navy, it turns out. That could be kind of good. Let's go for the hard attack and stuff on them. Claim on Northern Ireland. The Loyalists in Ulster are our responsibility. We can get a decision, or we can honor the peace treaty. And we'll just be known as Great Britain, not the United Kingdom. Can't allow that. Yep, alright, so we now have an event where we can just demand it. I'm not sure that's wise, so we probably will never click it. I don't even see the event. Oh, there it is. Demand Northern Ireland. The British return. The British are coming! The British are coming! Dear God, we thought they were done! No, we can start demanding a bunch of territory from a bunch of people, actually. Let's reaffirm our position as the head of the Entente. That was always the intent, right? You were always going to give power back to me? Right? Right? Maybe. I don't know. 12 civilian factories now. Okay. I am assuming that Canada's not going to be upset about this. Thank you, Portugal. All right, so we are in charge of that. That actually should save me. Yeah, we're about to 16 civilian factories now by reducing that consumer goods at least a little bit more, so that's very helpful. This is down quite a lot more, by the way. We're down to only 0.1 cost now, so stability is barely getting hurt. All right, that's great. We could go for the Imperial Preference Program now. What do I need to do this? We have to restore MI6. Oh, I have to create my own intelligence agency. I'm sorry. It just gets me a bunch of free upgrades. I'll be honest, that doesn't strike me as very important right now. I don't know what the Imperial Preference Program is. It sounds a little bit biased and discriminatory, but okay. Why was Canada not inviting a bunch more people into the IEDC? What is the downside of doing this? I don't think there's a downside. It's only a good investment. By the way, let's do this ourselves. And we'll get ourselves another civilian factory, because why not? Italian Republic agrees to join. Invite the two Sicilies. Let us invest in... You know what? Greece has been surprisingly good. Let's help Greece out. They haven't given me a lot of stuff as of late, and I want to make sure they like it. Okay, well, I invite Tripoli as well. The more tiny puppets we have, the more people who are generating political power they can toss into the pot. Prepare for war. Brazil, that Argentinian troops are currently massing. So, okay. Chile and Argentina are now the Third Internationale. And they want to attack Brazil. Well, that's gonna be a small problemo. Okay. Keep an eye on that and let me know how that's going. I'm hoping not to get involved if I don't have to, though. Okay, we got the Imperial preference. We actually just bypassed the special relationship since I think we already did that, or maybe they did it for me? Something like that. Something that was in the work for years before the revolution, the Imperial preference program is intended to keep the countries of the Commonwealth more closely knit. As developing countries become more aggressive with their trade practices, we need to implement a system of free trade within the Commonwealth so we remain friendly partners, but also so that our markets are easy for other countries to penetrate. So that our markets are easy for other countries to penetrate? That sounds weird, but okay. Imperial preference reduces consumer goods even further, and they also get the event, and we get political power. We just got 300 political power? What the frick happened? Well, let's do a declaration and get even more! This sounds amazing. Okay, well, we can basically remove post-war devastation by passing some of this. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and continue doing this. They're all the same. Canadian aid. Thank you, Canada. It looks like Canada's not trying to betray me here, so this is good. Yeah, that's outstanding. And it looks like whatever that event was that was reducing my political power is officially gone. Legacy of the Revolution. So all that's left now is solving the post-war devastation, and we'll be fine. Sure enough, they did declare war over here in Brazil. Okay, well, we probably won't be able to help too much, but I will set up some defense in these areas for now, if my troops can get here, and we're gonna see if there's anything we can do to help you and prevent them from going far. And absolutely, we're calling in the power of the Entente on this one. No. Third Internationale should not still be allowed to exist. They must all be purged from this earth. Purged, I tell you! All right, well, we've made some good progress in rebuilding the UK. I still can't say that I feel like I'm in a great position, but at least we're getting better. We're just not going to be able to throw our weight around and reform the British Empire for a good long while. Russia is still alive! What the frick is going on with you people? Oy vey. Alright, well anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We're going to keep the series going for a little bit because I am intrigued, but I do envision we're going to need a lot of jump cuts to make this even a little bit more fun to watch. But we're getting somewhere, dang it. And once we are ready to start building out a military and a navy and starting from scratch, I'm going to have the best stuff. Really good tanks and mechanized armies. We're going to have the best subs. I've already built up some Roach destroyers and heavy light cruisers. Done all the stuff. All the stuff. I just need to get my armaments up and running, get my economy going, and the UK will be back, baby, ready to rule. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.